Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. Today we're going to be playing Blue-White Familiars with Prosperous Pirates. This is something that I posted, which is potentially one of the more awesome versions of the combo familiars, because Prosperous Pirates in the main deck allows you to make infinite mana all of a sudden and then win the game. You also have an additional life gain combo, where if you have the God Pharaoh's Faithful in play, which says whenever you cast a blue, black, or red spell, you gain a life, you can flicker with Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer, and Prosperous Pirates with just one familiar in play to make infinite life. If you haven't seen this deck before, Sunscape Familiar says green and blue spells you cast cost one less to cast, which makes Ghostly Flicker start costing less mana. So like I said, you can return Ghostly Flicker from the graveyard with Archaeomancer because it on ETB it returns a target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. And then Prosperous Pirates makes mana because it creates 2 treasure tokens when it enters the battlefield. So if Ghostly Flicker is reduced by 1, it costs 2 mana. So Prosperous Pirates makes 2 mana, which means with 1 Faithful in play, you make mana neutral, just keep flickering over here, infinite times. Now if you have 2 Familiars in play, that means that for every 2 mana you for the Prosperous Pirates, you can use 1 of that mana to cast the Ghostly Flicker and make infinite treasures. Once you have infinite treasures, in Pauper what you're going to do is you're going to take Deep Analysis and point it at your opponent infinite times to make them draw their deck. Now obviously they're going to get cards in hand, so you want to keep drawing your cards until you have Ghostly Flickers in hand, you have your Ephemerates in hand, you have all of your snaps and your prohibits, and no matter what they do, you'll have an answer for. So the deck has not changed from the main mana base of the 4 Chanceries, 4 Ash Barrens, 2 Brokers Hideout. This is instead of Evolving Wilds just because it's easy life gain land. I was a little bit concerned about not knowing if I would fetch correctly from turn 1, but it's not been too big of a problem. And then we're playing 4 Preordain as a cantrip, 4 Snap, 2 Prismatic Strands here, and 1 Echoing Truth. The reason for that is these are quite good against the red deck, and I think that it's better to hedge against red in game 1 than anything else. And then we only have room for 3 flickers, so we're going 2 Ghostly Flickers and 1 Ephemerate, since Ghostly Flicker is specifically good for our combo. We're playing just 3 Modern Ages and 3 Deep Analysis here, basically to make space. These are the cards here that you could consider flex slots. So you could also not play Prismatic Strands in the main, play another Modern Age or another counter or another cantrip, whatever you think might be good for you specifically. Then we have our 4 awesome Mole Drifters over here, which I do like the art for, but I'm looking for that little kid art on Magic Online sometime. Over here in the sideboard, we have 7 Anti-Affinity with the Revoke Existences, a 1-off Destroy Evil, and a 1-off Negate. I think both of these have their place in the meta, so I'm keeping them. If you really want to be beating Blueback Terror, this other Negate and maybe a Dispel would also have to be a Destroy Evil, because you need quite a few of those to beat the Terror deck, but we can potentially go off with Infinite Life here to beat Terror as well. And then we have 2 Dispels. I found Dispel to be pretty good because there are matchups where you want the counterspell, where you can't always rely on the Sunscape Familiar living, so it always is going to be a 1 mana answer on the stack. And then we have 4 Hydroblasts here. I think that the Hydroblast combined with the Prismatic Strands are good enough versus red, but 420 Dragon has also been playing Honorable Scout, which is something that you can use in combination with Prismatic Strands to really go over the top of them. Now, over here in this, this is a card that I wanted to talk about, which is Prologue to Phyresis. People have asked me whether or not this is going to make an impact in Familiars, and I did try it, and I think that it's just not good enough. At the point where you're able to loop this, you've already basically won the game, and if you are casting it early, it's absolutely terrible. 2 mana to just cantrip is horrid. Even 1 mana for a blind cantrip is really bad. So I would not recommend it, but it's something you could try out. You could potentially play it here over one of the flex slots, because once you make infinite mana, you can just keep casting this instead of doing something where you have to like manage to Deep Analysis your opponent to death. All right, so that's the deck. If you're interested in the sideboard guide, that's on the Patreon if you want to sign up for the Patreon on the familiar tier. And I'm pretty much gonna stick with that. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the matches. All right, we're here, round one versus Apple Skiing, or Apple's King. I'm gonna keep this. These are slow, but these cards here are good setup cards. So I'm going to just go ahead and play out the God for Us Faithful, and then I can turn to fetch the island and preordain. And they're on Affinity. Still going to fetch the island here right now because that gets it out of the deck and makes it so that my preordain is going to be more effective. Preordain, Muldrifter, and a Snap. I think I will bottom the Snap for right now and keep the Muldrifter. And no attacks, obviously. So, versus Affinity, we don't have that much time. We're going to just want to evoke the Muldrifter immediately. One preordain, huh? I wonder if this person is playing the 4 preordain list. And they play a Blood Fountain. So now they can play Frogmite for free if they have it, but they don't. We're going to evoke the Muldrifter. Draw 2 cards. Did not draw a land. So that's a little bit sketchy. We're already feeling quite behind here on turn 3. Now they have 6 Frogmite, Blood Fountain, no Mirror Enforcer apparently, 1 Mirror Enforcer. Okay, so we can either cast Archaeomancer for preordain or just slam the Deep Analysis, and I think I'm just going to play out the Deep Analysis here. Prismatic Strands is pretty good actually because it can stop a Krark-Clan Shaman. It can also save us from munitions or from something like a Galvanic Blast. So they draw 2 cards of the Deadly Dispute. They're up to 6 in hand. They have 1, 2 mana available. 3. So this looks like the Luffy list. They play the Ichor Wellspring. Looking for a Galvanic, I guess. Didn't find it. So we're just going to block. Okay, we found Ghostly Flicker. So this means right now that we have the Infinite Life combo. So we just have to keep this going. We're going to try casting Deep Analysis. If this resolves, we can discard the Prismatic Strands. Alright, we actually have the Infinite combo now. Discard the Prismatic Strands. Okay. Let's also discard another Deep Analysis. I wish we had drawn a land there. I'm going to be very excited if we can just combo off immediately against Affinity in game 1. Not gonna lie. So if they tap out, what we can do is we can go 2 mana for Sunscape Familiar, 2 mana, flicker 2 lands, that'll bring us up to 3 mana, and then we can play the Archaeomancer for the flicker, and then make Infinite Life. And we want to hold the Prismatic Strands, I think, for a little while in the graveyard. They're going to get in, so we're going to block here. Okay. 2 mana, munitions. Okay, they're not going to use it right now. Draw a card. We'll discard the Modern Age. So, if this is the Luffy list that I'm thinking of, they don't have main deck counters. So, we could potentially just win here. Sunscape Familiar. Alright, let's attempt to make mana here. Okay, that worked. We play the Prosperous Pirates and we go back up to 3 mana. Okay, so I'm trying to think this through. Is there a way I can play around the makeshift munitions right now? Probably not. Wow, they just scooped to it, okay. Oh, sweet. Alright, good for me, I guess. Okay, so, post board. We're going all in on destroying all their lands. We're going to get rid of pretty much all of our life gain and the Prismatic Strands. Echoing Truth. We're going to bring in 2 Hydroblasts and 2 Dispel. I'm going to cut the Prohibit. So I talked to some people about whether or not Hydroblast is good post board against Affinity, and they don't think it is. I think it's probably fine because it counters all of their Pyroblasts. And I think I'm going to cut 1 Prosperous Pirates here. I'm cutting the Sunscape Familiar because it doesn't cast any of these cards. We don't really need it to cast these cards either. So the plan is to just try to cast these as soon as possible. And then we're leaving the flickers in. We could potentially cut one flicker, because the flicker is basically just in this position to try to rebuy the Ponza stuff. But we don't have 2 lands, otherwise this would be keep. We're going to mulligan. We have 1 revoke existence. I'll keep here. Put back an island. And then we're going to go land, fetch a plains, and turn to revoke. So what do they have? Looks like they have... No, they're not going to keep a negate up. So we'll cycle for a plains. And then we will go for the revoke on their blue-black land here. Take them off of any counterspells as well as the Deadly Dispute. Alright, so they got a counterspell mana available again. They have a Nile Spellbomb. And a Frogmite. So I could snap the Frogmite. I'm going to snap the Frogmite here. Go for the Preordain. Hydroblast and Snap are not really what I want. And then play out the Modern Age. I will discard the Ash Barrens here because the second plains can be used for a Dust to Dust, and we have the Dispel to protect the Dust to Dust at the moment. They found another land. So we're looking for Dust to Dust right now, so we can get rid of these 2 blue lands. They have a Mirror Enforcer. We find a Broker's Hideout and a land. So I guess since we are not doing anything, I'm going to discard these plains, play the Familiar, play the Broker's Hideout, and fetch a plains. That thins it from the deck, and I'll pass. Now at this point, unfortunately, we have to use our Dust to Dust here, and probably here and here. Not very good. We could Dust to Dust the lands still, keep going after the lands, and then eventually snap the Mirror Enforcer as well. We can take the 4 for a little while. We did bottom a snap, but then we shuffled. Block. We have Hydroblast for a Galvanic. We have Dispel. They're not able to... Okay, we're going to try to counter. They're going to Metallic Rebuke my Hydroblast. And then they're going to kill my Sunscape Familiar. What are they going to sacrifice? I guess the Wellspring. So Dust to Dust off the top would be pretty nice. Looks like we're going to end up losing this game. We'll see. Gets in for 4. Okay. They don't have any black mana, which apparently is blocking them. We have a Drifter. We can evoke the Drifter and then have a Dispel up. Or try to hardcast it, but I think it's probably better just to evoke it. I'm gonna evoke it like this. That way we can double Dispel. Alright. Preordain looking for land or Dust to Dust. Find a Snap. So let's top both of these. Play that. And we get to pick up the plains. And hold. Hold. Next turn we're going to snap the Mirror Enforcer. And then cast the Mole Drifter. Sorry. It comes for 4 damage. We're going to go to 9. Okay, so bounce this. They can't Deadly Dispute or anything right now with no black mana. Tap on tap. We're going to cast the Mole Drifter. Then we still have mana for Dust to Dust plus Dispel. Didn't find Dust. So we can play the Modern Age and discard this land. I think I still just discard the land here. We have to remember that they have the Nile Spellbomb to play, which means that we're going to be unable to get over stuff. Okay, they have Chromatic Star, which now gives them black mana. Mirror Enforcer for 1 mana. Let's see if we find a Dust. Remember, anything we put into the graveyard now is going to be unusable, basically. Get rid of this island. Play the Mortuary Mire. Try to get the Mole Drifter back. Let's see if they crack the Nile Spellbomb. Okay, so we get our Mole Drifter now. We're going to revoke the Spellbomb. Now they're going to crack the Star so that they can use the Spellbomb for value, it looks like. But we will have the Revoke Existence in the graveyard. And we don't want to auto-yield to that necessarily. Now when they attack, we can double block the Mirror Enforcer and kill it. If they attack with everything, we could also block and flicker the Mole Drifter. I'm going to trust, probably want to double block the Mirror Enforcer. Thought cast for the opponent is very good. They're up to 10 cards in hand. They find a black source. They Galvanic. Alright, we'll just Dispel. So they have another Galvanic Blast. Okay. So I'm going to block the Mere Enforcer and flicker the Muldrifter. We're going to go to 7 life. On this upcoming turn, we will be able to double block again. Let's evoke this Muldrifter. Found the Dust. Finally. Land. Get rid of these two. And pass. So now they are once again off of black sources. They pre-ordain. They've used 2 Galvanics, so we have, based on the Galvanic Blast, we started -1 life. We're holding the Vector Glider here to block the Frogmite, but also the Muldrifter just in case. Next turn we could start taking over the game. We should be able to play out everything. Just evoking the Muldrifter, so it's pretty good there. 2 mana, okay. We still really need to be careful about those Galvanics. We have a snap. I think I might snap the Frogmite here and just cast the Muldrifter. Or I could go, yeah. Let's snap this Froggy. Cast Drifter. So we get to draw cards with the Drifter. Find a hideout. I'm going to crack the hideout for an island. And then I'll preordain off of this land. Because now if I draw the Dust off of it, I'll still hold this spell up. Find a Familiar and a Flicker. Okay. So I don't know if keeping the Flicker or the Familiar up is best. Can't really respond to anything if I play the Familiar out. But I'm out of mana. I think I'll keep the Flicker on the top and then play the Familiar here. And just swing. Nice that we're at 8 life now. But we're still dead to 2 Galvanics. On the next turn, we can flicker both the Muldrifters, which will be pretty nice. Pretty nice. If they Galvanic Blast the Sunscape Familiar, I'm gonna just let that be. No big deal. So snaps post-board have still been pretty good. It's gonna be our second flicker, so the only flicker effect we'll have left in the deck is an Ephemerate. Swing! Okay, you take 4. And we're finally doing something. Donk. Okay, your turn, opponent. They play out their Frogmite, which we knew they had. They also played a Great Furnace. So they can start slamming Enforcers now. 1 Enforcer. Okay, so the option is to flicker the Muldrifters after I attack, or block and flicker the Muldrifters. I think it's better to just flicker them now so that I can try to get some dusts and things. Alright, they're slowly passing the turn. We're going to go for the attack for 4 and then flicker plan. Maybe not a very good plan, but it is a plan. If we can draw the 4 cards, we'll be pretty well off. We've drawn way more cards than they have just because we've been able to pawns them out. They've not been able to cast any of their black spells. Taking out their black land has been huge. We have exiled 1 Enforcer. So there's 2 more Enforcers left in their deck. Alright, you go to 14. We have no planes left in our deck as well. Dispel. Galvanic, okay. Draw 2. Find an Ephemerate. Ephemerate the Muldrifter. We find a Snap. So let's snap and replay the Drifter. Ooh, they're just going to scoop to that? Okay. We would have found the Dust that turn. Sweet. We might not have been able to cast it through a Metallic Rebuke, but it seems like they didn't have the Rebuke anyway. Got him! Taste it. Okay, we'll go to the next round. We're in round 2 versus the Friendo, GN42. We're going to mulligan this basically no lander. This is also quite bad. But we're just going to keep it, I guess. We're going to put back 1 Mancer. Play this out for a land. And get an island. Looks like he's going to be on Familiars as well. Alright. It is on. So we may be advantaged in game 1 with our full combo. Chancery. Pass. Pick up the island. And we will have the turn 2 Familiar holding up Prohibit. They also go for the Chancery. They're going to discard. We'll play out the Familiar. Pass. We have the Prohibit for their Familiar, and then we have Drifter Fem. So, play the Modern Age. I think I'm just going to counter that. And then Drifter Ephemerate. Okay, the Drifter Ephemerate resolves. Can't really do anything else here, so I'm going to play the Broker's Hideout for an island, get that tap land out of my hand. Next turn, we can play out the Archaeomancer for Ephemerate for Prohibit. So if they can't get us here, we'll win the game. They could have a snap. They just evoke a Muldrifter. Okay, whew! Okay, so we get to resolve the Ephemerate here. Do-do. And then we play Island. We're going to tap 4 mana, play Archaeomancer, grab the Ephemerate, and then Ephemerate for the Prohibit, and hold that up. We're going to discard a Faithful, because life gain does not matter right now. They cast a Preordain. We're not going to be countering this cantrip, and they're going to scoop. Sweet. We were the first ones to resolve Drifter Ephemerate. Now we have 1, 2, 3, and a Revoke Existence. Faithfuls don't matter. Prismatic Strands don't matter as well. Unfortunately, the only thing we can bring in now is Revoke Existences. Although, I guess Destroy Evil is better, because we can do it at instant speed. Because the only thing that Revoke or Destroy is going to hit is their, the Modern Age. Not happy about playing a mirror match. We have just an island into Preordain with a Dispel, so we're going to mulligan. We're going to mulligan this one as well, since we have no lands. And this is quite bad as well. We're going to keep, get rid of Archaeomancer, and I guess the Ephemerate. Done. Grab our island. There's the island, and we can pass. Next turn, we can just fetch a Plains and then Preordain. Alright, they have the good start of land into bounce land. Have to yield to this. And we get the Plains and then Preordain here. Looking for more lands and okay, so we can bottom, top. This is worth 2 lands, so we just can bottom the other one. They have an evoked Muldrifter. We'll play Chancery, picking up the Plains and casting a Modern Age. We did not draw another land, so I'm going to keep this in hand, and I'll discard a Preordain here. On the next turn, hopefully we can hold up a Prohibit for their Familiar. But if they have a Familiar here, we're in dire straits. They have a Modern Age, so it looks like they're holding up a Prohibit for our potential Familiar as well. They discard Deep Analysis, and they are going to kill my Modern Age with the Dawnbringer Cleric. Alright. So, can Preordain looking for a Muldrifter, or a Familiar. We found it. We want the everything here. We just play out the Familiar now. Play out of Plains. Fortunately, we didn't have the island to hold up. Now they're going to draw and discard off their Modern Age. So we're both kind of stuck on lands. They have they shoot themselves with the Deep Analysis, looking for lands. They find a land. No attacks. Okay. Land. We're going to cast a Muldrifter. That resolves. We have another Familiar. Okay, things are getting closer. So now they get a 2/3 flyer. And they're going to recast a Deep Analysis from the graveyard. Now they're up to 10 cards in hand. Cast a Preordain. Now basically, we can just counter a Snap or a Familiar here. They're holding up Counterspell potentially. They discard a Prohibit. That's interesting. We're going to cast the Sunscape Familiar. They cast a Prohibit. We have a Prohibit. Then they, I guess, have a Dispel? No. And we'll cast Archaeomancer to get back Prohibit. Probably should have gotten back the Preordain, but we're taking a risk here. Now we're looking to draw off the top of our deck. If we draw a Flicker, it's GG probably. We have double counter. They're going to get in for 2, put us to 20. We can just attack right back with the Muldrifter, though. They could have a Muldrifter in hand. 3 mana. They snap the 1 Familiar. Okay. We have to counter the second snap. They're going for the Archaeomancer for either the snap or the Prohibit, but we can respond. Looks like they're going to get back the Prohibit. Play another island. We have an Echoing Truth, which is cool. So let's go for Sunscape Familiar. Counter. return. Looks like we're playing ping pong over here. Play land. Let's go for attack with the Mole Drifter. Alright, we're going to pass. We can Echoing Truth our own Mole Drifter, which I'll probably do, just so I can recast the Mole Drifter for cards. We definitely don't want to Echoing Truth their Sunscape Familiar. They cast a Mole Drifter. So let's bounce our Drifter. Our Drifter is much sweeter than theirs. They're going to negate. I'll cast a counter. And now it's going to be the end of the turn for me. They have a land. Get in. So we're looking for Pirate Flicker, and then that'd be GG. And we have Drifter, Snap Drifter. So let's go for that. Evoke the Drifter. This gains us a bunch of cards, some mana. Oh my god. So many snaps! Okay, so Drifter, Snap Drifter 1,000 times. Looking for Flicker Pirate. Evoke. Draw. We found it. Alright. Pirate. And then we just Flicker. And then that'll probably be it. Okay. Thanks, Jen. We'll see you in the next one. Alright, let's go to round 3. Round 3 versus Gaffier. 1903. I don't know what that means. We're in a mulligan. Okay. Once again, we have an okay hand. So if you look at this hand, we have some plans. I think I'm just going to get rid of the second familiar. Having the 3 lands is pretty good. We can lean on Broker's Hideout for an island, or a plains, I'm sorry, and then play out the Sunscape Familiar, depending on what they're on. If they're on something that can kill the familiar, we just play out the Modern Age. So for this Mold of 6, we're just going to put back the second familiar. Keeping the Mold of 6, the bottom of familiar, done. Play the Broker's Hideout, and say go. Turn on the auto yield so I don't have to click those, and then get the plains. And what is our opponent on? In the past, they were an NBC player, I believe. Looks like they're on Terror, which is not great for me. So let's play out the familiar. Just try to get them to start doing stuff. Like I said, Terror is going to be a problem because we don't have a lot of Destroy Evils. We're going to be relying on trying to get infinite mana, infinite life. Let's grab an island. So if we play out the Modern Age right now, we're playing into a Spell Pierce. I think that's okay. If they Spell Pierce us right now, but they don't kill the familiar, alright, they're not going to. Find a second familiar. Let's play this Hideout, and then play out the Mire. So next turn, if the familiar lives, we can play the Mole Drifter. If it doesn't live, we just play another familiar. They're cycling of Fumes. They play another land. Okay, so we draw the third familiar. So we're probably just going to discard the familiar here. Discard the familiar. Play the land. Play another familiar. That resolves somehow. Okay. Don't know. It seems like they're holding up Counterspell, but they just don't feel like countering the familiars. Just strange. Okay, so we have Archaeomancer and Mole Drifter. Guess we just try to evoke the Drifter here. Might as well just hardcast it. This forces them to have Counterspell and not just a removal spell. They have the Counterspell. Sure. We waited a long time. And we don't have anything to get back with this Mancer, unfortunately. They have a Thought Scour to get rid of considering an island. Plays a land, plays a Mental Note. Brainstorm, Mental Note, get milled. I start just jamming terrors. Terror. Terror. Looks like this one's going to be an Angler, so if we get a snap, they're going to be hosed here. But we're probably not going to find a snap. We find a Prohibit. Alright, let's go ahead and attack. I'll block with the Familiar and Ephemerate it. And then I have the Prohibit. They have 3 cards in hand. Then on the next turn, I can play out my Archaeomancer. Okay, block. Go ahead and Ephemerate. We can play around a Spell Pierce still. And our Prohibit can counter their thing. Well, okay, we'll attempt to counter the Snuff Out. Now they have the Spell Pierce. Alright. 1 familiar down. Find a Faithful. It's not that great. So, play out Archaeomancer. Grab the Ephemerate. Let's go ahead and attack them. And then we'll block and flicker with the Ephemerate. grabbing the Prohibit. This is all just relying on them not having anything. They thought Scour themselves, milling 2 lands, which is pretty good for them. Block. And Ephemerate. And then, do you have the Snuff out? Nope. So we're still looking for a snap. Ephemerate here. Alright, we find a Modern Age. So I'm going to Faithful into a Modern Age. Find a snap, okay. So we can't cast the Ephemerate right now, but we really need to keep it in hand because we're not going to be able to use it otherwise. We can't cast a snap right now either. I think what we need to do is discard the snap. Next turn, go for block, Ephemerate, snap that. This turn, we'll sacrifice a Vector Glider to chump here. Opponent still has 3 cards in hand. Looks like they're going to Unexpected Fangs their Angler, so that it's a 2-turn clock. I'm pretty happy with them playing Unexpected Fangs over any other type of spell. They have another Terror, which is scary. Unfortunately, okay, draw. We're going to discard the Preordain. Play the Island. Now we have Ephemerate into Snap, and then we'll take 5 damage off the Terror. So I think what we need to do is go for block here, Ephemerate this, grab our Snap, snap the Terror, or the Angler. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take 5. Now they're going to hardcast their Angler, looks like. Sure. They have 1 card in hand. 3 mana. Another Angler, it looks like. When it rains, it pours, baby! Okay. So we're looking for a Flicker. Get an Ephemerate. Ephemerate here. I think I have to Ephemerate for a Preordain. Looking for pretty much anything. Oops. I messed up, didn't I? Darn. Okay, snap the Archaeomancer. Archaeomancer for Preordain. Cast the Preordain. Go see Flicker. So we're in the bottom. Top this. Play the land. Okay, so if they have nothing, we can kill, chump block here, block, Flicker, and then go to 1. Thought Scours themselves. If I had correctly clicked the Prohibit or Preordain, we would have been totally fine at this moment. Block, because we could respond with the counter, but instead we're tapping out. So that was just a mistake on my end, and looks like we just have to see what they drew. They drew nothing. Great. Perfect. Okay, so we can now start getting back... Wait. So Ephemerate here. Get back Ephemerate. We're stopping on our upkeep. We just Flicker like this. Get back Flicker. Get back Sunscape Familiar. Draw. So now we can play out the Familiar. We can Ephemerate first, because that's probably better. So we can just Ephemerate here. Go ahead and get a Snap. Snap this. We're here. Untap. Play the Familiar. And now we're going to make some life. So we just tap these. Flicker. And we have to gain up to 16 life, I guess. We have infinite life. And we're going to put the Muldrifter on top. So one thing that's good about playing double Flicker here is that it's much easier to get infinite life. Put this down a little bit just to make it easier. When you have the stack on top of the triggers, it's like really difficult. 8. Okay, so we probably should play around double Fangs, I guess. So we're going to go to at least 17. Just flickering for a while, so I'll just stop talking until I'm done flickering. Alright, we're at 15. We're going to go to, I think, 18. Just to be safe. Flicker here. We really need some more blue mana on the battlefield. It's definitely causing us some problems that we played out our tap lands. And we only had to play the tap land because I made the misclick on the snap instead of the Preordain. Alright, 19, whatever. So now we're going to flicker the Mire and the Archaeomancer. And we're going to get back the Flicker and the Muldrifter. So yes, and then we're going to pass the turn. We're not going to block and flicker. We're just going to take the damage. because I don't want to get blown out by a Spell Pierce now. We knew they had nothing last turn. And we can once again ephemerate into a Snap. They're just going to hardcast the Angler. Okay. Plays a land. So we draw. We get the Ephemerate. I think I'm going to wait on the Snap. So let's see. Could have Snuff out on hand. It seems pretty unlikely, though. We'll see. So this is still game one. This is going along. Ephemerate. Get back Ephemerate. Okay, turn off his upkeep stop. We don't need that anymore. We're going to cast this Drifter. Kind of looking for a bounce land. Find the bounce land. Perfect. So we're going to now play the land, pick up this Ash Barrens, ephemerate the Archaeomancer, snap. We'll go ahead and snap one of these Anglers. Okay. Untap, untap. And now... So we can pay 2 mana and Deep Analysis, or we can pay 1 mana and Flicker. So let's do that. Flicker here. Because we can pay for a Snuff out with the Prohibit by kicking it. If we find another Faithful, alright, that's pretty good actually. So now we can gain twice as much life. We're still just kind of stalling the game. Not really accomplishing that much. Flickering around. Stall, stall, stall. 14. We know they have an Angler in hand. So we'll Flicker, go to 16, and then one more time, and then the next... I mean, we could just hold. I think I want to draw. Let's hold up both pieces of interaction. This way we have Ghostly Flicker and Prohibit to respond to their spells. And now I think we're just in the win mode. They mill Snuff out Deep Analysis. That's good that they mill the Snuff out for us. Deep Analysis is kind of sketchy, because now that they can draw some cards. They go to 5 cards in hand. Plays a land, so they have 3 unknowns to consider. And what do they do with that? They put a card on top, so they draw that card. Alright. They're going to get in for 15. Sure. Take 15. Okay. 16. So they're back on the life gain plan. Plays another Terror. Alright, alright, alright. Plays the Angler. So now what we're looking for is Prosperous Pirates and or a... Let's see. I think I'm going to Flicker here. Looking for Pirates or another Archaeomancer. So we can just wreck them. Let's counter that. Kind of figured that they had the Spell Pierce. Get back Flicker. Draw some cards. Haha, we found the Echoing Truth. That's great. Okay. Ephemerate. Go here. Echoing Truth. Was yield. We'll pay. Goodbye to your terrors. And then we'll ephemerate for Echoing Truth. Goodbye to your anglers. Cycle this for an island. Play the island. Let's go ahead and attack for 2. Yeah, Echoing Truth looked pretty nice there. So they have 5 creatures in hand, that's it. Flicker. Okay, so we get back to Flicker. Find another Faithful. I think I'm just going to Flicker again and then discard the Prismatic Strands. This opens us up to removal spell, but I think that's alright. Discard and discard the Faithful. Now they're going to have 1 non-creature in hand. We don't know what it is. I'm going to set this upkeep stop again just in case they kill my Archaeomancer. They snuff out the Mulldrifter. Alright. That's a weird thing to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I mean, we can just keep Echoing Truthing all these terrors, so it's not really going to bother me very much. I think they just wanted to reduce our clock. Play another terror. Sure. No problem, my friend. No problem. Get back the Ephemerate. Alright. And, don't need to stop on the upkeep here. Let's go ahead and play out another Familiar. Grab another island. Let's go for the Drifter, Snap Drifter to generate some mana. Okay. So now we have mana back from the Drifter. All right, and then now we can play out the Archaeomancer. And then we can snap our Faithfuls. And this will actually generate us some more mana so that we can use it for the Echoing Truth. Snap the Faithful. At this point in time, it looks like they're going for the time-based play. But it's no big deal. We got lots of time. We're already at 12.5 minutes, though, because we had to do some shenanigans. Bounce this. Tap on tap. Go ahead and Ephemerate. Grab another snap, I guess. We probably wanted to get the Prohibit. And then we'll just Echoing Truth these. Yes. Cast this Muldrifter. Pass, I guess. We're going to get rid of Faithful, this land. Now we just have to win the game. Maybe I should have, I'm wondering if I should have restarted Magic Online for lag purposes. Alright, so now we get to go with Ephemerate. Cast the Ephemerate on the Archaeomancer. So now I'm going to have to try to move really fast. Get the Ephemerate. Okay. No. Turn off my upkeep stop. Ephemerate here. Get the Echoing Truth. Echoing Truth these. Cast Muldrifter. Play Chancery. Pick up this. Cast Muldrifter. Cast Modern Age. Discard the Faithful. And attack. Now we're going to get rid of, I guess, all these draw cards. Yeah, this one. It's fine. Now from here on out, we don't want to really use the Ephemerate because it costs us a lot of time. So we're just going to Flicker for the Echoing Truth. Actually, I guess we're at the point where we don't even need to do that. Ephemerate. We're going to get back Ephemerate. And we're just going to attack. There's a pirate. Discard this. Play Chancery. Pick up whatever. Pick up this. Attack step. Alright, we're going to go ahead and swing out. Play the pirate. Oops. Did not need that much mana. Play the pirate. We're going to resolve the trigger. And now we're going to pass. Getting rid of a Preordain. Whatever, man. That doesn't matter. You can tell by the use of the Unexpected Fangs and the way that they're playing that their goal is to try to burn my clock. Which is fine. So we just go like this. Block. Okay. Flicker. Here and here. Really not that big of a deal, my man. You're costing me 3 or 4 seconds. Counter. Okay, we're going to get back our Ghostly Flicker. Whatever. Plays a Terror. So they have another Terror and 2 Anglers in hand, I think. Alright, our turn. Swing out. So I guess they could play a removal spell here, and we'd have to Ephemerate or Flicker for a counter, but we're just, yeah, lethal damage. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and restart Magic Online, because let's see. It's not that bad. I think we just kind of went through the motions slowly. Guess I'm going to restart it anyway. Alright, we're back. Make this bigger. Alright, we want the Destroy Evil, we want the Dispels, we want the Negate, I think, so we can get rid of the Prohibits and the Prismatic Strands. It's 4 and 4. Bring those in. Echoing Truth was a super good card there. Did enjoy that. So now we have no blue mana. We're going to have to mulligan this. We have to also move really fast. Mulligan again. That's unfortunate. I guess I'm going to keep this one and get rid of Drifter. Get rid of the Faithful and the Preordain. Unfortunate mold of 5. So if things look sketchy, we're going to just have to like immediately concede this game so that we can go for the try to win on the next in game 3. Because if we burn a lot of clock here, we're going to be hosed based on the opponent's actions. Alright, they play a land. We're going to grab an island. We play the island, play out the Modern Age, discarding the Deep Analysis. Let's see if they have the Nile Spellbomb. Looks like no. So we're going to discard the Muldrifter, go for the Deep Analysis, and they're going to counter it most likely. Okay. Say no. Mortuary Mire, yes. And your turn. Now we have a flying attacker, and they have nothing. They mill Thought Scour and an island. Our opponent uses a Brainstorm, plays a land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cost 2 to Terror. Looks like they're just going to play out an Angler. Alright, so we need a Snap. We're going to evoke this Mulldrifter. It's a pretty juicy counterspell target for them. So we're not going to block. They play an Archaeologist. A Military and a Fangs. So we're just going to go for the Fangs so that they can be a jerk. Pressure the clock as well as the life total. We're going to go ahead and evoke another Drifter. I'm not going to play out this single island. Alright. Preordain. Okay, Flicker and Snap. So we bottom the Flicker, keep the Snap. Attack. Now we're on a 2-turn clock because of the unexpected Fangs. They play a Mental Note. They mill Archaeologist Thought Scour. There are 3 cards in hand. Okay. We're going to snap this. We have a negate. They don't play anything. So we're going to Deep Analysis. Play land. And attack. They snuff out our creature. Alright, fine. They cast a Deep Analysis. And they can recast the Angler now. If we have a land off the top, we can go Mancer for Snap. So we're still in it. I don't want to concede yet. No land. Oh, we're missing white mana still. Alright. Play Prosperous Pirates. That gives us the white mana. We're going to block and ephemerate the pirate. We could also just hold negate, but that would use our white mana. What are the odds of them having another? We're going to block here. I'm going to ephemerate. Yeah, snuff out. Okay. What is a Deep Analysis? They go to 5 cards in hand. Plays an island, casts a Terror. So we can block and flicker here, I think. Plays another Angler. Okay. Play Familiar. So the only thing we can do is play Archaeomancer, getting the Snap. And then they have to not have a response here. Snap this. They don't have a response. Okay. Alright, opponent goes to attacks. We're going to block. Block, block. Alright, and flicker. Does this resolve? Looks like no. Okay, so we concede the game. Easy day. Alright, is there anything that we want to change? I don't think so. We kind of got hosed. We got hosed. We mulled to 5. That seems fine. I don't like having all this white mana in my hand, but it's okay. Grab an island. Draw. Cycle. Grab an island. Pass. So now if they go for a Brainstorm, they're not doing anything. I'm going to Ephemerate. It's going to evoke this Mulldrifter right away. Draw some cards. They can't do anything about it. Find a Deep Analysis and a Chancery. They go for a Mental Note. A mill, a Tear, and a Snuff Out. Both are great mills for from our perspective. Okay, I'm going to play the Chancery and pass, picking up the Plains, and then I will be discarding this Plains. They consider. We're trying to get to the point where we can block Ephemerate with the Archaeomancer with this spell backup. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the Terror right now costs 2 mana. Now it's going to cost them 0 mana, or 1 mana, or whatever. It still costs them 1 mana. Brainstorm. Okay. So if they Thought Scour after this Brainstorm, I'm going to Dispel. Brainstorm resolves. Cast a Terror. Okay. Let's go Godfarrow's Faithful. Cast Deep Analysis. So that puts us to 22 life and puts them on a 5-turn clock. Alright, alright. We have a Familiar. We have the Archaeomancer. They're going to cast an Angler. So the clock is increasing. Okay. They get in. So plus, we're going to cast this Familiar for sure. Now we can cast the Archaeomancer. Getting back the DA. If they counterspell it, we have the dispel. Let's get back to dispel. Let's just dispel the snuff out. So now, what are they gonna do? They snuff out the Archaeomancer or the Familiar, and they have the counterspell. Okay, never didn't have it. That's fine. So here's the thing. My opponent was specifically trying to finish my clock, and then they had just have presented extremely fast clock. Like, what's the point of that? Doesn't make any sense. So stupid. We're looking for a snap. Find a flicker. That doesn't do anything. Bummer. Alright. Alright. Good games. Go to round 4. We're in round 4 versus Teasdale. Teasdale MTG on YouTube. Let's see what he's on. Likes to play a lot of the mono black Colony Gardens list. This is a pretty mediocre hand. We don't have any card draw. We have an early Faithful though, so, and a decent amount of land drops. We have a Prohibit. Let's see what they're on. Bogles. Yeeks. Okay, so land, cycle. What's nice about our deck against Bogles is that we do have the infinite combo for life gain. So they're tapping, they find a Commune with Spirits. Probably looking for a land here. Like a Plains, so they can armor that. I think this turn I have to hold up Prohibit, depending on what they do. Especially if they don't have a second land. Find an Ancestral. Plays land and an Abundant Growth, so they could very well land the Ancestral here. What does that mean to me? I think I'm just going to play out the Familiar then. Because next turn I can hold up the Prohibit for the Ancestral. But no, they haven't. Alright. Cloak, okay. So now we can counter the Ancestral. Land. Pass. You play Spirited Companion. I'm surprised they didn't just cast the Ancestral, but okay. There's a Rancor. Their creature had Hexproof. It continues to have Hexproof. They get in for 5. Okay. They gain a bunch of life. And step. I guess we could have cast the strands there. That's maybe a mistake. Cut for us Faithful. Play the Chancery. Pick up the Plains. We're going to cast the Modern Age, discarding the strands. Find a Flicker. Alright. So now they can cast their Ancestral. And we will attempt to snap the Faithful. And then counter it. So this plays around a Rancor. And counter. Oh man. Brutal. 10 damage. Okay, so we're going to just block. And then not use the strands this turn. Hoping that we can draw into the life gain combo. We're going to draw a card and discard. Likely just discard the Ash Barrens here. So we can play land, Faithful, Ash Barrens. Okay. Guess we just lead on one Faithful. Cast the Modern Age. See what we draw. Draw a land, so we can discard the land. Play a second Faithful. And pass. Now we can flicker in response to something. We can also just Prismatic Strands. Ethereal Armor on the Scout. That can go away, because it's already... we dealt with it. Prismatic Strands on green. And then we're going to block here and pass. We still have one more Prismatic Strands in the deck, so that might work. Draw a card. We draw a Prismatic Strands. Wow, okay. That is the thing, like when he said I didn't even see the strands in the graveyard, and that's true. Like sometimes you can sneak it with the Vector Gliders. Plays an Ethereal Armor on the Companion. Now he knows better. Alright, so I think I'm gonna just chump with the Vector Glider here and cast the strands on green. Hoping to draw into Muldrifter. Draw a Deep Analysis. Okay, we're gonna DA. We find the Prosperous Pirates. So let's deep analysis again, I guess. Broker's hideout first also. I think I want a deep analysis first. Just deep analysis. Okay. Grab an island and pass. Now, if they give the companion trample, we're in a bad spot. But now on our next turn, okay, they can't give a trample. Good. So we're gonna block. Block. Prismatic Strands on green. Hoping that they don't have a ram through. Looks like no, they just have 6. Alright, pass. Land. We're gonna play the Familiar. We're gonna play out the Prosperous Pirates. So we're gonna gain some life. And we're looking specifically to find a Archaeomancer here. We're gonna evoke. Draw some cards. Found the Archaeomancer. GG. All right. Okay. Bunch of mana. All right. Go ahead and cast the Archaeomancer. Get the flicker. Always yield here, and then we're gonna go off. We have infinite everythings. So we're just making mana for a while. Then we have to draw into our Echoing Truth. Echoing Truth, all the stuff, and then so they're gonna flicker here, grab this. We're gonna evoke the Drifter, flicker the Drifter, and the Mancer. We have a bunch of life and stuff. All right, we're going to flicker here, make some mana, play out a Familiar, makes things cheaper, so we can just hardcast the Drifters and stuff. It's going to use a lot of time though. All right, we're flickering around. All right, well, we're friends, so he says GG. Thank you very much, sir. Let's go. Destroy evil and negate. And I guess we're gonna get rid of some number of snaps. Okay. The negates are good. I think I want the revoke existences. And then we're just gonna get rid of the snaps, I think. So it's touchy whether or not we want to get rid of the snaps because that can be a ritual, but I think that it's better to just try to get rid of all of their stuff with the destroy evils and the revokes and then counters and stuff, and then we have the prismatic strands as well. Okay, so this is not good enough. We're gonna mulligan. Has some of the cards we wanted. Alright, I'm gonna keep this one. Keep it and put back. Yes, it's gonna be the flicker here, but I think I just want to put back a land. This is a very slow start for us, unfortunately. They have the Bogle. Play the land and pass. And then we're going to pass again. And our opponent's going to probably just slam a Rancor or something. 2 mana for a Ledgewalker. Alright, to get in. We are going to cycle this land for an island. And pass. If they have nothing, we want to Echoing Truth here. I think it's probably better to play out the Faithful and then get the Broker's Hideout into play so that's an untapped land. Then we can potentially Echoing Truth something and counter it again. They have a Rancor. Okay, we take 4. We find a Prohibit, but we can't really use it. So we're going to grab an island. We're starting very slow. We're going to play out this Faithful and pass. They cycled for a land, so they have 2 unknowns in hand, and now they get back up to 4 unknowns. Or 3 unknowns. 4 cards in hand, I mean. They play out the plains most likely. It's interesting that they fetched the plains here. I wonder why that is. Mask. Okay, block. We can blow up the Ancestral Mask with our Destroy Evil. That's nice. Let's see what happens. And then we can end step Echoing Truth the Rancor. And then counter it on the way down, on the way back down. Armadillo Cloak. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm having some crazy deja vu right now. Weird. I feel like I've been in this situation before. Destroy this mask. Echoing Truth the Armadillo Cloak. Wonder if he has a Dispel or a Spell Pierce. No. Okay, they get in for 3. Plays a Bogle. I don't know. Yes, a Bogle. Alright, we have to pass. And then hold up the prohibit for the mask. So that gets countered. We're still in dire straits at the moment. We are going to 4 life. So we're dead next turn. We find a land so we can just play out the Moldrifter. And anything kills us pretty much. Pretty much anything kills us. They just had a land in hand. It was a good idea to cycle there because that thins the deck. And they are more likely to draw something good off the top. So I guess Ethereal Armor doesn't kill us. It nearly kills us. They play the land that they got. Play a Utopia Sprawl. I'm probably going to block the Ledgewalker. Not sure. Okay. They're giving us an out. Alright, so I think I'm going to preordain looking for a familiar. Go to 6 life. Find Moldrifter and Strands. I guess I put the Strands on top. And I'm going to pass. Because I could Strands and block the Ledgewalker. And then still have Prohibit up. 3 mana for another Cloak. So we're going to counter it. Alright. So what can we do here? We can Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. Gives us a bunch of blockers. And we get to flicker both the Drifters and draw 4. Don't think that'll... Oh no, yeah, so then we'll be able to discard the Strands. Yep. We discard the Strands. We're going to discard Deep Analysis. I think we're going to win now, but we'll see. They could still beat us with a well-timed top deck here. Ledgewalker is not the best top deck for them. If they attack with the Ledgewalker now... Alright, so now we're going to go Sunscape Familiar, Archaeomancer. I think I'm going to get the Echoing Truth, and we will attack. So the reason I got the Echoing Truth there is that I have multiple Archaeomancer still that I can now play afterwards to go grab the Flicker, and then I can get everything else. Play a Forest. Pretty much over now. Draw. We find a Revoke Existence. So, Mancer. Grab the Flicker. And we will swing. I think we're going to win the game. We could definitely use some lands. I probably should have discarded the Modern Age, but it is attacker and attacker. Okay, they grab another land. Unfortunate top decks. So, I think here I flicker for the Prohibit. Not sure. Still have the Prismatic Strands. Maybe I just like look for infinite life. Draw some cards. Echoing Truth can save us from a ram through right now. Now we're just gonna grab an island. Draw. And we have a second flicker. We get to attack with everything. Well, not the Mancers. Yeah. We're gonna get rid of the Rancor. I don't think that matters. Let's get another Moldrifter into play. Flicker here. Grab the Flicker again. Alright, so we drew some more lands that we can't play. Let's get rid of the Rancor for now. And we are going to discard these. We don't have any snaps in our deck, right? So this, Faithful. We're just holding up Echoing Truth now. And yeah, I think in 2 turns we win, but we really want to get our Prohibit or maybe a Negate. But, you know, after this turn, we just pass and then we can flicker for the Destroy Evil, so I think it's locked up. Our opponent says, Teasdale says, you did not enjoy this league. I'm having fun. Alright, good games. We'll see you in round 5. We're here in round 5 versus Siri 80. We have a really mediocre hand, but we have the Modern Age, and we have lands. So I'm going to keep it, actually. Thornwood Falls could be Tron or Turbofog. Okay, Broker's Hideout is going to get us a Plains, which is really good here. Versus Tron or Turbofog, Sunscape Familiar that off the top here is really amazing. Looks like Turbofog specifically. So let's go ahead and slam this Modern Age, since I don't want to get the Familiar countered. If they counter this, it's quite good for me. They are going to... Okay, so let's put a Flicker in the yard. They cast an Accumulated Knowledge, so basically we are going to win and get a 4-1 because, I mean, they could definitely get us. I just don't think that this is a winning matchup for them. This island has to go to the graveyard, the Preordains, so they take pieces of the puzzle. What did they pick up? They choose pieces of the puzzle, Arcane Denial. Okay, so draw a card, discard this. I should have discarded the Faithful, that was dumb. Okay, play the Familiar, pass. The Faithful is completely dead, so we definitely should have discarded that. All right, go ahead and cycle for an island. Now what we want to do is start adding to the board so we have attackers. Although we can combo them out. Archaeomancer to get the Flicker. They can cast an Arcane Denial. We'll cast Prohibit. And if this resolves, we'll just get back to Prohibit instead of the Ghostly Flicker. What do they have? They're going to Weather the Storm? No? Okay, they're tapping for blue. They can use a Growth Spiral. Alright, sure. We Prohibit, we get back Prohibit. Your turn. We're looking for second Archaeomancer here. They cast the piece of the puzzle. They choose Weather the Storm, Arcane Denial. So they think it's important to try to time us out with the Weather the Storm. That's fair. Probably would have kept the Moments piece. We play another Familiar. And Preordain. Looking for lands. If they Arcane Denial the Preordain, what do I do? Ooh, we found the Mortuary Mire. Alright, bottom this. Top the Mire. Play the Mire out. So now we are not afraid of decking. Just going to swing out. So we want to try to counter their AKs. They used one. Let's deep analysis. Play a land. Go ahead and swing. Alright, they're going to take the 3 again. They have the Weather Storm. We'll just cast deep analysis again. Alright, we could cast a Familiar here. That's just going to give them more mana, more Storm for their Weather the Storm here, which I don't really like. Cast an AK. Fortunately, I don't have the resources to start countering those. Cast a Frantic. Yep, they're drawing lots of cards. I think I might flicker these two after I attack next time. Alright, so they got the Desert, which means that they can ping our Archaeomancer to death. Cycle here for an island. This allows us to attack, and then they will take the 3 and then ping the Desert on the ping the Archaeomancer with the Desert. And then after they use the second activation, we will flicker these two and discard a Faithful. Okay, deals 1 damage, sure. We're going to flicker. I guess we get wrecked by double Arcane Denial, but I don't think they're going to have that. They've already used 1. It's certainly possible. Cast a Frantic Inventory, sure. As long as we can maintain this Archaeomancer on the table with the flicker, then I don't think we're going to be afraid whatsoever. Cast Arcane Denial on the flicker. We will cast Prohibit. So the flicker is going to resolve. We're going to get back the flicker, draw a card, and discard. Simply discard the Godfarrow's Faithful. Okay. Get that back. Alright. I think now it makes sense to play the Chancery, picking up the Plains. And pass. Now they're going to Weather the Storm for a bunch. In their eyes, they are fully prepared, and they're not going to die because they have all this Weather the Storm value. Except we are going to get them. They do not know that we have the combo. Okay, so they get another Arcane Denial, Frantic, Tangle AK. So they choose Frantic and Arcane Denial. Weird. Draw a card. Discard the Plains. Let's play out the Familiar. So everything's super cheap. This means that we can cast the Drifter for just 2 mana. That resolves. I'm gonna Broker's Hideout and grab an island. I suppose I can attack since they tapped the 2 deserts. Now, unfortunately, we have to play around the Arcane Denial. But if they ever tap out, we have the Flicker on the Drifter to draw a bunch of cards. They cast a Frantic, cast a Growth Spiral, put a land into play. They Preordain. Okay, so what are they going to do with the Preordain? 2 top, no bottom. It's a little bit scary. So they found another Preordain off their Preordain. They Preordain again. So if they ever tap out for a what's his face? We've used 1 Deep Analysis. If they ever tap out for a Stream of Thought, it just ends up us winning the game because we can flicker back what our pirate and then win. Draw. We draw an Ash Barrens, which is really not good enough. I think I'm just going to cycle the Ash Barrens for an island. That's our last island in the deck. Lay the island out and yield until next end step. In case they tap out. Seems unlikely though. They have Arcane Denial in hand. We need like a snap or something. They cast a Frantic, draw a ton of cards. Now they're at 13 cards in the library, or 10 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3. They can cast 3 Stream of Thoughts on me. They Stream of Thought me. Okay. Drifter, Faithful, Modern Age. Kind of wanted that Drifter, but the top card was a Chancery. I wish it would tell you what they put back. They still have Arcane Denial in hand. Now they are back to 16 cards in library. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 blue mana. Now it's going to be 5. Looks like they put back at least 1 Arcane Denial. We're just sitting here doing nothing. It's a sketchy spot for me for sure. We'll yield until next end step. They have Arcane Denial in hand. They reveal another Arcane Denial. Yikes. So many counters. They cast the Pieces. They get then another Arcane Denial. Now they're at 5 cards in library. What? They Stream of Thought us. We find a Deep Analysis. It's pretty good. And a Prohibit. Crud, what did they pick? Choose Growth Spiral, Arcane Denial, okay. 1, 2, they can cast all 3 Arcane Denials. We find a Faithful, which is quite bad. We are going to draw some cards with Deep Analysis. I really thought we could win here, but we've just drawn nothing. Yikes. Okay, here's the Prosperous Pirates. Pirates. Another Familiar. Land. Alright, we'll go ahead and swing. So, they need to stream us 4 times to win. They draw a card with Growth Spiral and don't put a land into play. If we find an opening, we can win with the Flicker, but they just have so many counters in hand now. They have 3 counters. Both of our counters are in the graveyard. Looks like they're going to replicate a Stream of Thought once. Alright. What do we mill? Not the... We still have Ephemerate in our library. And we still have 2 more Mancers. There's 1 Mancer. So we have 1 Mancer and an Ephemerate. They can cast all 3 of their Arcane Denials right now. Kind of a pain. I guess what I want to do is just try to draw cards. Just did not work out for me. They're going to Arcane Denial the Flicker. It's fine. It's kind of what I wanted. So we get to draw 2 cards. They have 2 more counters. So we're looking for Archaeomancer. Yes, 2 cards. Deep Analysis. Preordain here. There's the Archaeomancer. So we're going to bottom this and top this. So now we still have Ephemerate left, right? Yeah. Ephemerate is our last card. It's going to be very frustrating, but we'll get it there. Okay, so play this. We can snap and replay the Drifter to draw the Ephemerate. Snap the Drifter. Okay, cast the Drifter. Go to 0. Now we have the Ephemerate. Cast the Archaeomancer. attempt to ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Alright, if they have one more Arcane Denial in hand, we lose. 1, 2, 3. Alright, see what happens. Kind of a bummer. Snap this. Untap. Untap. Cast the Archaeomancer. Get back the Ephemerate. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Get back the Flicker. Alright, Flicker here. Get back Flicker. Get back Archaeomancer. Was yield. Alright, now we have to execute, which is kind of stressing me out right now. Flicker. Let's undo. Cast this pirate. Grab some mana. Now we're going to flicker here to get back to the other Archaeomancer. And then we're going to say yes. And then blue, flicker Mancer and Drifter. Draw 2. So we draw our 2 cards, and then we play out our... Make a bunch of blue mana here. Archaeomancer gets back the Prohibit. Alright. Now I'm safe. That's so scary. Make some mana. Put this here. And we'll get rid of the stack over here. Whew. So scary. Now it's just execution. I'm actually like shaking a little bit. They're at 14, so that means we need 14 mana to mill them out. So we're just executing. Since now we have the a bunch of familiars in play, and I don't know what they're doing, but they seem to be pausing a lot. I think they're probably waiting for a time to cast Weather the Storm. It's really funny that their clock usage is so high. While we're just sitting here flickering back and forth, making mana. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And I don't know if you ever played Zelda, but that's a Zelda song that I was trying to sing there for a second. Are they now going to F6? Yes. Okay. So that's 10 mana. So now you can see that it's like 1 second per treasure, which costs us quite a bit of time. As far as I know, they're only going to be able to cast 1 counterspell. So I want to make enough mana to dome them plus counter their counter. I want to make probably 18 mana just in case. So we're at 10, 11, 12 now. And then every time you flicker, you add 1 more mana. So that's 13. And then this will be 14. We're just going to use it. So I will save you the watching of the clicks and stop talking so that the stuff will get cut out. So now I'm flickering to get back a Prohibit, just in case. And then I'll make a bunch of mana, and then I will dome them. So now I'm clicking all my mana. We have 16 mana. Now we just flicker, get back Deep Analysis, flicker. And then you take 2, and then do it again. The clicks. Deep Analysis you. We're getting back Deep Analysis again. Keeping my mouse way over here for the speed. Looks like our opponent's going to attempt to interact. No. They're definitely considering doing stuff now. Now that they realize that we're giving them all of their cards. We're just chilling on 0 cards in the library trying to win the game. They're at 9. They're going to cast a counter. Are going to counter their counter. We were fully prepared for this situation. Get back Deep Analysis. Get back the flicker. So now we're really low on our resources, and we want to be very, 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 very careful while clicking. So click the Deep Analysis first, and then you click the center of the ghostly flicker. If you click off to the side of the ghostly flicker, you might accidentally misclick and just double get back the Deep Analysis, which would totally hose us. But now we can just get back the Deep Analysis once, get back the flicker once, and then we're just gonna, I guess we actually still have to DA twice. Oops. I messed up again because I got a little greedy. Get back the flicker. Deep Analysis you. Flicker here. Get back the Deep Analysis. Deep Analysis you. Deep Analysis you to death. All right, that's not the way that I wanted to play the game. It was a lot of time. But they had all 4 Arcane Denials, and we had literally nothing going on. We just kept drawing our blanks, and we have a lot of those. So all these are blanks. We're going to bring in all of our Dispels and our Negate. Then we're going to bring in our Revoke Existences. These are not good enough, but they can potentially get rid of any relics or Tormod's crypts that our opponent might bring in. Let's go. Checking the... So this is sketchy. We might have to restart, but we can't now. We can't restart. We already started the game. We don't want to lose our time. Keep. Just going to land pass. Land. Grab a plains, just in case I draw a familiar. Play Chancery. Pass. Pick this up. Okay. We're going to discard the plains. They Growth Spiral. They cast another Growth Spiral. Thornwood Falls, gain a life. Sure. Play a land. And I think we just evoke the Drifter. Draw some cards. Probably going to discard the Revoke. Play the Archaeomancer, get back to Revoke Existence. They could counter it here. Give us some cards. Cast Prohibit. Alright. Was not really expecting Prohibit, but that's fine. We still have 2 in the deck. They have 4 cards. They have not cast any AKs yet. We could... Okay, there's a Tormod's Crypt. Alright, I think I'm going to Broker's Hideout then. So we lost 1 Archaeomancer, which means winning the game is going to be difficult. Cast 1 Frantic. Don't have to counter that Frantic. I would counter the next Frantic, though. They're going to Scry. Alright. Now what I want to do is try to counter their card draw. Kill that. Put you to 2 cards in hand. They're going to Arcane Denial or Prohibit. They Arcane Denial their own card to draw some cards. Yep. Okay, so they get to draw 3. That's actually pretty nice for them. I'm going to cast a Mulldrifter. They can't prohibit that, so they have to use a Arcane Denial and give us cards. Pass. Alright, they have a desert. We're going to cycle for an island again. Play the land, play Sunscape. They're going to Frantic. I'm not going to counter that one. I want to be able to counter the response here. They have an AK. We're going to attack with the Mulldrifter. Then we're going to snap and replay the Mulldrifter. Then we will do it again. We're going to draw some cards. Snap the Drifter. Now we find the Revoke Existence. We revoke the Crypt. They have to use it, so they get rid of our Drifter and Mancer and 1 Prohibit. Cast a Mulldrifter. Find Ephemerate and Preordain. So now we can combat. We can lock them out with 1 Archaeomancer with our Prohibit and our Ephemerate. So they're going to use Arcane Denial on a Weather the Storm copy to draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, you did. They cast a Preordain. And another Preordain. So really, like, the only thing that's costing us time here is just our comboing. Otherwise, this opponent is quite much slower than we are. We're going to cycle again for an island. Draw. Send. Okay. Now we're going to Preordain looking for an Archaeomancer. Revoke Existence. I guess I top both. Play the Chancery. Picking up the island. And then playing out the Familiar. I knew that the Revoke Existence could come into play. They have yet another Growth Spiral. Another Tormod's Crypt. We have the Revoke. They're going to stream us. Well, that sucks. I think I'm going to Flicker. See what we mill. Now I'm going to counter the other stream. Maybe. Guess not. Oh man. Bad news bears for us. I really should have countered that stream. That sucks. Okay, draw some cards. Too greedy. I guess I attempt to get back the Archaeomancer here. They have to crack the crypt. Suck. Alright. Going to attack. Cast the Modern Age. So now our plan is basically to try to Ephemerate lock them. We don't have very many Ephemerates. Get rid of one familiar. Ephemerate here. Okay, we draw. Okay, we have a pirate. Nice to get some pirates into play for more clock. Pirate again. We will lose here to a Stream of Thought, probably. Okay. Cast a Frantic Inventory, draw a bunch of cards. It's fine. They preordain. We might be able to get to the point where we just have a bunch of DAs, but I think we used a bunch. Used one DA. We only have one Archaeomancer left in the deck. Another Tormod's Crypt. That's really annoying. I guess I still have just the Revoke here. Oh, I should have used it. Urgh! Okay. We're going to scoop. So the problem is the Revoke Existence can't get the Tormod's Crypt, and our Ephemerate will be gone. Okay. Nothing we can do. Try again. I guess our initial hand was too slow. Echoing Truth. It's really frustrating. Oh well. Outplayed. Our opponent has all the graveyard hate in the world. We cannot actually just, like, afford to sit around and do nothing. So we're going to preordain, turn 2 Modern Age. We have the Archaeomancer hand. Go. I guess bottom, top that. We have the Modern Age. We have the combo. So we just need to find an opening. Discard this Ash Barrens. Alright, so all of these cards are good. This sucks. Draw a card. I'm going to discard the Hideout, land, play a familiar. They're going to counter it. Alright. We're slamming the yes key. Draw 2 cards. We have another familiar. Play out the familiar. Just jam the Modern Age. Discarding the DA. And we will go ahead and pass. We have the Dispel now to protect our combo. We're getting close. 3 mana. They have a piece of the puzzle. We'll find a bunch of good stuff. They're probably going to keep the Dispel and the Prohibit, I imagine. Yes. Okay. What do we discard? I can discard the Dispel. And then play Archaeomancer. Get back the Dispel. And then Ephemerate. Getting back the Deep Analysis. And attack. So they have Dispel and Prohibit. They Stream of Thought us. They get rid of our Mortuary Mire, which is really bad for us. So we have to combo to kill them. Can't get back any more of our Sunscape Familiars. Archaeomancer. Ephemerate. They go for the Dispel. We will respond with Dispel. They respond with Prohibit. Okay. Draw a card. Cycle for an island. Play the island. Then we're going to flicker here to get back Ephemerate. And then Ephemerate to get back the flicker. And attack. So we got rid of both of their counters that were in their hand. They currently have 5 mana. We're starting to present a clock as well, which is nice for us. Okay, they can't keep any of these, so they now have Weather the Storm and Growth Spiral in hand. I'm going to attempt to resolve this Ephemerate. They're going to Arcane Denial the Ephemerate. We find a Prohibit, so we're going to attack. Flicker here. Get back the Ephemerate. And then Ephemerate. Getting back the Flicker. And we're going to pass. So they get to gain a bunch of... Oh, they did not have enough mana to cast the Weather the Storm there, which is really good for us. And we're going to draw some cards. We have Prohibit in hand. Cycle for an island. We have 2 Archaeomancers left, 2 Sunscape Familiars. So every turn we're casting a bunch of spells just to get our Ephemerate back, so their Weather Storm is going to be pretty live. Get back Ephemerate. Okay, land. Step 1 attack. I'm going to cast this pirate. They cast an AK. Alright. We are able to successfully resolve the pirate. Okay. Your turn, opponent. Now we can end step Flicker to make mana. And actually, I think I want to do that right now. Flicker here. So this stores mana on the table. Get back the Flicker. Now I'm going to Ephemerate here and grab that Dispel. This is incentivizing them to use their Weather the Storm. Now they would gain 21 life. But they don't get to Arcane Denial their Weather the Storm here. They already used the Growth Spiral as well. Okay. So we're going to attempt to counter the Tormod's Crypt. We can't afford to have these resolve right now. Attempt to Dispel. They have 4 cards in hand. Everybody's at 5 minutes left on clock. Very sketchy. Tormod's Crypt is countered. We have Dispel, Prohibit in hand, in the graveyard. They're going to cast a piece of the puzzle. They find Preordained Dispel. They cast another Weather the Storm. Alright. So now we Ephemerate our Archaeomancer. Get back our Ephemerate. We're going to go ahead and swing. And then we are Ephemerating for the Prohibit. Casting a Preordain. Find Archaeomancer and negate. Top. Archaeomancer. And we are grabbing the Dispel. And passing. Cast a Preordain. Now we can focus on countering all of their draw spells, basically. Another Preordain. On the next turn, we're going to start going off and just countering them out into the ground. Cast a Growth Spiral, it's fine. They pick up a land. They play another land. They cast a Frantic Inventory, which I don't care about. Okay. Now we get to resolve our Ephemerate. And then from here on out, we're just going to counter everything they do. Every single thing. We have a negate. So, step 1 is attack. Let's cast this Mulldrifter, I guess. We didn't find lands. Which is weird. Okay. We're going to get rid of Modern Age, Deep Analysis, Snap. They cast pieces of the puzzle. We should have countered that. Whoops. They choose AK Preordain. Preordain, okay. There's a desert. Draw. A land. Okay. Attack with everything. They take it. We're going to cast our pirate. And now attempt to counter them out. This should be the game. 3. Counter. Just Ephemerate for another to get back Deep Analysis. Or the Dispel. They'll Dispel. Counter the Dispel. We get back the Dispel. And Dispel. Attempt to counter. That's annoying. I guess that resolves. Cast another AK. Okay, now they're up to 7 cards in hand. What's going to happen now? Stream of Thought U, okay. Chancery, Drifter, Snap, Prohibit. Okay, they play a land. They go to 24. They Stream of Thought us again. They're putting a lot more cards into their back into their deck. Are they going to cast a Weather? Yes. Okay. Now once again, fortunately we got hosed and did not have all the counters there, but we now have all the counters. We have a decent clock. I guess we play this hideout. See if there's any lands left. Yes. Okay, send everybody. So this is the second timeout war of our league here. Ephemerate. Get back negate. Flicker. Get back Prohibit. Flicker. Flicker again. We'll get back Prohibit and Flicker again. Alright, your turn. They're at 32. We've got 6, 10, 12 damage a turn. They do have a desert. So I guess we don't attack with the Drifter then. Just attack with the Archaeomancer instead. I'm right here. We're at 139. Oh my god. There's the familiar. So now we attack with everything. They're gonna desert the Archaeomancer. Yeah, we're just gonna flicker here and get back all of our counter spells. They're gonna use the scry to cause a time suck. They're gonna scry again, but we're auto yielded. Back to spell flicker. All right, opponent. We did not use our ephemerate. Land. Okay. Attack with everything except this. Are there any more counters in the graveyard? It doesn't look like it. We have 50 seconds left. We flicker an island and get back to flicker. They scry. They went bottom. Scry. Bottom again. Or top that time. Alright, 3 cards in hand. We have to play around a Weather the Storm, I guess. Piece of the puzzle. Negate. Spell. Counter. If their last card is Weather, we're kind of screwed. Their last card was Arcane Denial. That was lucky. 20 seconds left. Bam. That was wild. Alright, so it went pretty well. We lost to Blue-Black Terror, which is definitely our worst possible matchup, and it was only a 1-2. So remember, if you want to beat that, you're going to be wanting to play more Destroy Evils. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.